It's Mountain West over Conference USA. Mark Rogers TV just a few minutes after Utah State disposed of UTEP 21-6. The Aggies winning another bowl game. They've been impressive under Gary Anderson and now Matt Wells taking the helm and continuing to get the Aggies into postseason play and succeeding in their bowl experiences. They win this one in the New Mexico Bowl. It was interesting to me to see UTEP quarterback Jameill Showers. The last time we really heard of him on the national stage was when he was vying for the Texas A&M quarterback job. That was in the fall of 2012, and with about 2 or 3 weeks left in camp, he was set to be the opening day starter before a guy named Johnny Manziel took over the starting job for Texas A&M, and the rest is history. All right, Jameill Showers played a pretty good football game, but he was up against an extremely good defense, and this is why Wells is winning despite losing quarterback after quarterback after quarterback. Ohio State should be so lucky to lose 3 quarterbacks, not just 2, working on the 4-string quarterback. But back to the defense. Jameill Showers on the first, or actually was the second series of the game, made a really outstanding play. He was boxed in, he scrambled, he flushed out to the left, and then he threw a rocket for a 40-yard completion as UTEP got on the board 3-0, and then we would not hear from Mr. Showers, not because he didn't play a good game, but because the Utah State defense was that good. Utah State dominated this one. 5 of 20 third down conversions for UTEP. 12 first downs, 275 yards of total offense for UTEP. Aaron Jones, he comes in as the 6th leading rusher in the history of the program at UTEP. He was held to 88 yards on 25 carries, 3.6 per carry. He's used to being extremely productive in that offense. And again, Jameill Showers was 13 of 24, limited yardage in this one. And the pass game not effective for UTEP either, as they kicked just 2 field goals, no touchdowns in this game, 275 yards offense. Utah State didn't exactly explode on offense. They, again, had the 4-string quarterback in Kent Myers, just a freshman. But this is his 7th start. So he came into the game with 5 touchdowns, 2 picks. So he's managed the offense and has not turned the ball over. 69% completion percentage coming into the game. Wasn't quite as effective against the UTEP defense in this one, but didn't need to be. Kent Myers, 5 of 12, 68 yards passing, 1 pick. But he kept it under wraps. All right, 70 rushing and a touchdown, the first touchdown of the game to give the Aggies a 7-3 lead. He hit JoJo Natson, one of the best special teams players in the country, on the punt and kickoff returns. Natson, 2 catches for 47 yards. And Hunter Sharp, he finished with 3 receptions for just 21 yards for the Aggies, again, as they focused on the run game. We want to note that Hunter Sharp finishes the year with 65 receptions and almost 1,000 yards for the Aggies, as he finishes just under the 1,000-yard mark receiving. Utah State on the ground, 40 rushes, 279 yards. It was the contributions of the quarterback, Myers, 70 yards rushing. Ronald Butler got away for a 61-yard run. That was key. He's a senior wide receiver, so he's gone. Joe Hill gone as well. 6 carries for 50 yards for Hill. The senior is off to the rest of his life as well, as Utah State loses a lot of key players from a team that has been building and building and building, but this program is recruiting at much higher levels than it did just a few years ago. So Kent Myers will be back. Again, just a freshman this year, gets all those starts, 8 of them under his belt, including this bowl experience. 68% passer, 5 touchdowns and 3 picks. He will battle most likely the sophomore, Daryl Garrettson, who took over for the injured Chucky Keaton early in the season, played substantial playing time. The sophomore threw 8 touchdowns with 3 interceptions in that one. Defensively for Utah State, they've got some key guys to replace here. In Zach Vigil, 145 total tackles, 19.5 tackles for loss, and 9.5 sacks. Zach Vigil, again, 145 stops, 19.5 tackles for loss, and 9 sacks. I believe he was the Mountain West Defensive Player of the Year. His brother, Nick Vigil, not a bad season himself. 116 stops, 16 tackles for loss, 6 sacks. He's back as a junior, but they also lose Frankie Sutera, who turned in 83 stops, 7 picks, 3.5 sacks, 5.5 tackles for loss. So Utah State loses a bunch on defense, but they have over the past couple of years and been able to replace those guys with better recruiting in recent years. We discuss and would love your feedback on the quarterback situation with Garrettson and Myers coming back in 2015. It will be the junior versus the freshman there. And again, replacing the defense. We saw a couple of nice plays early in the game from Travis Seafelt. He is just a junior, so he'll be back in 2015. Got into the backfield, really disrupted Aaron Jones in that UTEP running attack early in the game with a couple tackles for loss to get Utah State rolling in this one. Again, a 21-6 win. As we propel it toward 2015, we see that Utah State has a very difficult non-conference schedule. They start off with Southern Utah, then games against Utah on the road and at Washington. And then to close out the season after the Mountain West slate, Utah State takes on BYU. So, for those non-Power 5 conference teams that are looking to schedule tough, and if they can run the table, make a statement for the College Football Playoff Committee, this is a schedule right here to catch somebody's attention. At Utah, at Washington, and BYU. For UTEP, they start off rather well as from the standpoint of strength of schedule in going to Arkansas and then going to Texas Tech. So UTEP coming off that 7-7 record and looking again to win a postseason game for the first time in 48 years. They start off with road dates at Arkansas and Texas Tech. So UTEP closes out at 7-7 following the loss. And again, Utah State with another successful campaign here in 2014 under Matt Wells at 10-4 after the 21-6 win. Would love to hear what you guys have to say about Utah State and UTEP going forward in this football game in particular, right here on Mark Rogers TV.